The state of affairs following the development of the Yamaha YZR M1's V4 engine has been a major talking point, particularly in the racing series, which has seen Yamaha increasingly fall behind its main rivals like Ducati and KTM. The radical switch from the legendary inline-four configuration to a V4 was a desperate but crucial move, driven by the urgent need to rediscover lost top speed and competitiveness in the modern MotoGP era. Unfortunately, this revolutionary project, which should have been a savior, has instead been shrouded in a cloud of delays and a lack of direction, fueling despair within the team. Testing results and wildcard appearances on track suggest that these high hopes have not been realized, resulting in a deep disappointment for their flagship rider. The main issue highlighted by riders, especially Fabio Quartararo, is the perceived slow progress of the V4 project. After testing a prototype V4 engine in several test sessions, such as Misano and Valencia, Quartararo openly expressed his disappointment, even assessing the current V4 bike's performance as worse than the inline-four M1 they were already familiar with. This harsh criticism arose because he did not feel any significant improvements in the crucial areas most needed, such as corner acceleration and top speed. This condition implicitly shows that the transition from an inline-four engine to a V4 is far more complex than simply changing the engine configuration, but requires building an entirely new bike from scratch. Riders' concerns extend beyond slow lap times to instability and a lack of feel for the V4 prototype. YAMAHA Test rider Augusto Fernandez, who was entrusted with riding the V4 prototype as a wild card at several races, including Malaysia, admitted to struggling to find a solid setup. He noted that the bike's feel changed drastically at every track, indicating that the M1 V4's geometry and electronics have yet to find a solid foundation. Every small change in one area often disrupts others, leaving the technical team constantly back to square one without any real progress, exacerbating the feeling of being left out of the team. Overly cautious strategy development was also cited as a major cause of delays. Fernandez revealed that Yamaha seemed reluctant to unlock the full power potential of the V4 engine, operating with a tight limiter. He emphasized that to discover the bike's true capabilities and truly compete with Ducati or KTM, the team had to be willing to take risks and test the engine at full power. This conservative approach, likely intended to maintain secrecy, was seen as hindering the process of identifying critical issues and slowing the pace of development. Yamaha's rivals have long been forging ahead with bold innovations, while Yamaha seemed to be caught in an overly cautious approach. The implications of the V4 engine's failure to immediately demonstrate competitive progress are significant, particularly for Fabio Quartararo's future with the team. The 2021 world champion has repeatedly issued ultimatums to Yamaha, threatening to leave if the V4 project fails to provide him with a bike capable of competing for the title. Quartararo emphasized that the post-season Valencia Test will be crucial in determining his future, as he must see the right and promising development direction before committing further. The dissatisfaction of a star rider like Quartararo is the clearest indication of Yamaha's technical failure to provide competitive tools. This issue extends beyond the engine. It also involves the aerodynamics and chassis package, which must adapt to the new V4 configuration. The more compact V4 engine should allow for a sleeker and more efficient aerodynamic design, addressing the high drag drawbacks of the previous M1 inline-four. However, Quartararo noted that the V4 prototype at Misano still used aerodynamics that were more or less copied from the old bike. This suggests that the technical team faced significant challenges in balancing the integration of a new engine with a fully optimized chassis and aerodynamic package, requiring significant time to refine each component separately and in an integrated manner. The experience at the Malaysian MotoGP served as a stark reminder for Yamaha. Although the wildcard appearance was intended to gather dry track data, Augusto Fernandez's final results were significantly lower, both in the sprint race and in the main race. The collected data indicated that the V4 prototype reached the same performance limits as at Misano, despite the significantly different nature of the Sepang track. which demands high power and tire durability. Fernandez even implied that the team needs something else and new parts from the engineers to achieve a real performance leap, suggesting that with the current components, the V4's potential is already limited. The performance failure in Malaysia was also attributed to fundamental issues with the bike's traction and handling in difficult conditions. Quartararo complained that the bike felt unstable, especially in the final sector of the track, and was particularly weak in the wet, a chronic problem with the M1 inline-four that apparently hadn't been fully resolved on the V4 prototype. This poor traction prevented Quartararo from exploiting the available power and maintaining a racing rhythm, further frustrating the fact that other manufacturers were managing power and tire grip so much better, reaffirming that Yamaha needed radical technical solutions, not just engine configuration changes. Yamaha's challenge is further compounded by the limited time frame leading up to the upcoming seasons, particularly with the major regulation changes in 2027 that will see engine capacity drop from 1,000 cubic centimeters to 850 cubic centimeters. The V4 project should ideally be fully competitive by 2026, which is now their learning season, to prepare the team for the 2027 regulations. However, if V4 development continues to be slow and inefficient, Yamaha risks not only losing its chance to compete in 2026, but also having to start from behind when the new regulations come into effect, putting them in a long-term crisis. Overall, Yamaha's V4 engine project is currently at a critical juncture. Yamaha must make bold and decisive technical decisions, abandon its conservative approach, and accelerate the development process to prove to its riders, especially Quartararo, that it is on the right track to competitiveness. If no tangible improvements are realized in the upcoming crucial tests, such as Valencia and Sepang early in the year, Yamaha risks losing the loyalty of its star riders and sinking deeper into difficult times, far from the success it has enjoyed in the past. The decisions made by the technical strategy team in the next few months will determine Yamaha's fate in MotoGP for years to come. WSBK rider Nicolo Bilega is worried about embarrassing himself after being appointed to replace Marc Marquez for the remaining rounds of the 2025 MotoGP season. He is haunted by the fear that it could backfire on him. "I would really like to be able to replace Marc," said Toprak Razgarlioglu's rival. "But the risk of embarrassing myself is quite high. So this situation needs to be handled carefully," he said. Nevertheless, Bilega will use this opportunity to adapt. A little experience first will help avoid major setbacks.